Let's take a closer look at this sentence. Why is this a run-on? College costs are rising. Many students are worried. It's a run-on because you have two simple sentences that are just fused together. Each of these simple sentences is an independent clause, and you need to connect them with some kind of punctuation or other techniques. So let's look at the different ways we can correct this. First option is to add a period. College costs are rising. Many students are worried. And that solves the problem grammatically, but there are two problems with this. Number one, you don't explain the connection between the two ideas. And number two, your sentences sound choppy. A better option is to add a comma and a coordinating conjunction. College costs are rising, comma, and many students are worried. Or you could use a different coordinating conjunction like so, which suggests a cause-effect relationship. And of course, coordinating conjunctions are also known by the acronym FANBOY, so for and nor, but, or, yet. So let's go to option 3. Option 3 is to add a subordinating conjunction or other dependent words. Subordinating conjunctions are words like although, since, because. Another type of dependent word, relative pronouns, that, which. Those are also dependent words and can be used to create a dependent clause. So take a look at this. Because college costs are rising, comma, many students are worried. So your independent clause, many students are worried, takes a greater emphasis in the sentence. That's the lovely thing about using subordinating conjunctions is you make one idea subordinate or less important than the other idea. Notice a very important comma rule in here. If you start your sentence with a dependent clause, you put a comma at the end of the dependent clause. And option number 4 is to add a semicolon and a conjunctive adverb, also known as a linking word. This also adds variety to your sentences. So college costs are rising, semicolon, therefore, comma, many students are worried. The nice thing about the conjunctive adverb is it shows the relationship between the two ideas. Now let's take a look at this worksheet I'd like you to do. So the first page just describes the rules we just went over in the slides. So let's just scroll down to the practice sentences here. And notice there are 2 sets of exercises. In the first, you correct the run-ons using punctuation. So with these first 10 sentences, you use either a period or you use a comma and a fanboy, or you use a semicolon and a linking word. So for instance, let's take the second sentence. Scientists recently discovered the remains of a rat-like creature called Phobaramus. It was as big as a buffalo. So clearly that's a run-on. You need some punctuation after Phobaramus. So there you could put a comma and, or you could put a semicolon and a linking word like, in fact, comma, it was as big as a buffalo. So that's what you do in the first set of exercises. In the second set, correcting run-ons with dependent clauses, here what you need to do is you need to use words like subordinating conjunctions and relative pronouns. So for instance, let's go down to number 6. The old buses are bulky and ugly. The new trains are sleek and attractive. Well, we could see how there's a contrast between those two ideas. So you could add, whereas the old buses are bulky and ugly, whereas the new trains are sleek and attractive. Or let's go to the bottom one. My town is making real progress. I am glad. You could write, Since my town is making real progress, I am glad. You would have a comma after the progress, or you could say, I am glad because my town is making real progress. And there, as you have the independent clause first, you don't need a comma. So here's the extra credit opportunity. If you go ahead and print this out and mark it up very visibly with your corrections, take a picture of it and email it to me by April 3rd, Friday, April 3rd, you can get up to 10 points of extra credit. But you've got to follow the directions. So please make sure you use punctuation in the first 10, but in the second set of sentences, you've got to use dependent clauses. You've got to create dependent clauses to fix the run-ons. All right, there you have it.